Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Exploring CA Profiles. So in this video, we'll cover IDT Consulting. So I have contacted one of my very good friend who is working in IDT Consulting from quite a long time. So we'll take his interview. We'll ask that how to prepare for this profile, what are the interview questions being asked in this profile, what is the scope, growth, work-life balance. I hope this video will be valuable for those who wants to pursue their career in GST or IDT. So hi Sachin, first of all, welcome back to my channel. So my first question to you will be, when did you clear your CA exams?
May 2018.
So I already know that you are working in IDT Consulting, right? So how much experience you have, and like after post CA qualification, what you have joined Big Four or industries?
Okay, so I cleared my CA in May 18, as I mentioned, and from that day till date, I am working in IDT only. And post qualification as a chartered accountant, I joined a law firm wherein we used to do the IDT only, indirect tax only. And after doing 1 year work in a law firm, I joined one of the Big Four in IDT only.
Okay, so that means you may have almost 4 years of experience in IDT Consulting, right? So can you please elaborate your experience, like what kind of work you do in IDT? What exactly is your job description? What is your role?
So in IDT, indirect taxation, there are three kind of work which we used to do, right? I'll divide the whole work into three categories, right? So first is the compliance, second is advisory, and third is litigation, right? And first of all, I would like to elaborate what is IDT. IDT means indirect taxation, which covers majorly GST and some part of customs also. So in compliance, we used to file GST returns. For example, in income tax, we have to file income tax return yearly. In GST, we have to file GST returns on a monthly basis. So we used to file GST returns. We used to review the returns filed by the clients, right? Secondly, advisory. In advisory, whenever a client are in doubt, or like let's suppose client is entering into a transaction and he want to analyze the GST implication on that transaction or anything advisory related to GST custom. So this we will cover in advisory part. And third is litigation. For example, client has filed his GST returns, client has paid the taxes, client has taken a tax position. However, department has contrary view. Let's suppose client has classified a services into 12%, but in the department view, the services is classified under 18%. So this is a litigation. So in litigation, we need to appear before the tribunals, making reply to the notices and all.
Okay. So in which part you work? Advisory, litigation?
So Kavita, if we work in Big Four, so we have to work in all of the part, right? In Big Four, we have compliances, advisory and litigations also. But if we work in, let's suppose, law firm, so we used to work in advisory and litigation. So to answer your question, I used to do all three things.
Okay, so my next question is regarding switch. So if you want to switch, then what options are available for you? What is the scope? Like, can you switch between Big Fours only, or this profile have scope in another industries also?
Okay, so we can very well switch in any Big Four or any consulting firm. Rather than Big Four, there are very big law firms in India who do indirect tax practices. So we can switch in law firms, consulting firm, Big Four, CA firms. Apart from these, we can definitely get opportunity in any industries, because in any industry there is a department of indirect taxation. So I think all the doors are open for us.
Okay, that's great. So what is the increment percentage? Like, what is the annual average increment and hike? If you're switching between companies, then how much hike you can get average? Just like if you can quote a range, then that would be more good.
Well, see, it is a totally a company based question. However, to answer your question, like we can in Big Four, I'm talking about in Big Four, we can generally get a hike from 10% to 25% yearly. And let's suppose we got a switch from one Big Four to another Big Four, or from one Big Four to another company. So I think we can easily get a switch from 20%, 30%, or let's suppose it is a very big name in industry. So you can definitely ask 50% also.
Okay, so that's great. This was overall about the profile. So my next question is, if somebody wants, like they need to pursue their career in IDT only, like as a student they have decided, then what are the skills they need to possess in themselves? Like some technical skills do, or some courses which they can do, which can give them added advantage in comparison to others.
As a student life, like you are doing your articleship and you are decided like you have to go to IDT only. So my first suggestion is you join the articleship which provide you exposure of only IDT or majorly to IDT, so that you don't need to suffer post qualified as a chartered accountant. You can directly join a Big Four or a big company, right? Because you already have experience in your articleship firm, right? And if I am talking about the skills, So there are like no special skill is required to do IDT, no additional software, nothing. You just need to have like strong hand in Excel, and you should have a good technical skill. For example, you should be very well aware about the GST law, the return formats, the timelines, and the most important thing, you should be aware about the latest changes which is happening into GST, because since GST is a new law, every day we saw a change in GST or litigation in GST.
Okay, that's great. So, okay, so my next question is related to this only. So, if a CA fresher is giving interview for IDT consulting, this profile, so what things he needs to prepare, or what are the important interview questions which can be asked to him? Like in CA final, our major focus is on the ITC, input tax credit, and supply, the definition of supply, all these things. So, like, are these things important in interview also, or what kind of questions are being asked in interview?
Yeah, I think that is the most important and relevant question here, because many of the newly qualified chartered accountant ask me this question, because they have like tomorrow they have interview and they are not clear यार क्या पूछेंगे, right? So they generally ask कि sir क्या prepare करूँ, बस मुझे 5 चीज़ें बता दीजिए, just tell me what should I do, right? So to answer your question, in my view, you should know some of the things, right? If you are appearing in the interview, the first is the latest updates, the latest changes in the GST, because since GST is a new law, every day we got either a notification, either a circular or a judgment, right? So every day we got something from the government side. So in my view, you should be first update कि क्या update था latest, you should know about it, right? If you are not updated with the latest thing, then you are not prepared basically, right? So first thing is update yourself about the all the latest news. Second thing, you should know the return filing mechanism, what all are the returns are applicable, right? You should know the timelines to file the returns, because being a fresher CA, big fours or a chartered accountant firm would expect you to file GST return. So you should be aware about the return filing procedure mechanism. The third is you should read some of the critical issues which are unresolved under GST. You can obviously simply read some articles over Google or some other forum. So basically, if you know some of the issues in GST, let's suppose if an interview asks you what are some of the issue which you think in GST, so you can mention any 2 or 3 issue which you have read. So by way of this question, interviewer understand that yeah, you are aware about the issues, that these are the unresolved issues in GST. The fourth is you should know the basic concept of GST, like you correctly mentioned, ITC, supply, time of supply, place of supply. You should know the basic things. I understand every CA student has read the IDT in their CA finals. So I understand you always know the basic concept. However, if you want to revise it, because basic concepts are actually important to know before going an interview. And apart from that, you should also read about the latest news, not the latest things like notification circular, but the latest news. For example, the government is proposing to levy GST on the online gaming industry, or whether the government is proposing to levy GST on petrol or not. So you should be update what is happening in our economy in relation to GST. So I think these are some of the important.
Thank you so much for this in detail and full-fledged answer. This will really help the audience. Okay, so my next question is, how is the work-life balance in this profile?
If you talk about the work-life balance, actually, in Big Four, we generally understand that, yeah, in Big Four, there is no work-life balance. We generally understand. Being it any profile, being it audit, taxation, advisory, work-life balance is like very, it's not a good thing in Big Four. Apart from that, in GST, since I have already mentioned that in GST, you have monthly return systems, right? And at least for every client, you need to file 2 return in each month, right? And these 2 return has its own deadline. For example, one return needs to be filed before 11th and the second return needs to be filed before 20th, right? So I have seen कि इन 2 dates के आसपास तो work life balance is like बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, because and even I have seen कि people can't plan their leaves. मतलब people have to plan the leaves according to GST filing date. People have to plan their marriage according to the GST कि यार 20 के बाद ही शादी करनी है या 20 के बाद ही जाना है अगर घूमने जाना है तो, क्योंकि 20 तक तो रिटर्न करूंगा मैं. So थोड़ा सा वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस का चैलेंज है. I agree with this point. However, you have asked me whether you are happy. Yes, I am happy with my profile, and I am very proud that I have into GST profile, because since my CA I used to learn GST. I am very interested to know about GST, and I am very happy about in this profile. That's why I am working in from the last 5 year. And just add on to this, you have previously asked what are the scope, मतलब आप कहाँ पे आगे जा सकते हो, या what are the options available in this profile. I would like to mention, when I was working in one of the big four, and like I have given some presentation or something, then a partner from M&A, merger and acquisition, has asked me to join merger and acquisition, and I asked her कि मैम आई डोंट नो मर्जर एंड एक्विजिशन, बिकॉज मैं तो 3 साल से जीएसटी में काम कर रहा हूँ, देन हाउ कैन आई जॉइन मर्जर एंड एक्विजिशन. सो शी टोल्ड मी, सचिन, यू आर अ चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट, राइट, एंड आई हैव सीन योर स्किल्स, लाइक हाउ यू प्रेजेंट योर सेल्फ, वट इज, मतलब I have actually taken a seminar, and this was a very good seminar for my life. So the partner has approached me कि you join M&A, and I have no problem. You don't have any experience. You are a chartered accountant. So chartered accountant होना is mandatory. People who come in GST profile, and let's suppose you don't like GST profile, you want to change. Actually, it is easy, no problem. You are a chartered accountant. आप कभी भी किसी भी profile में फंस नहीं सकते. All the doors is always open for you. I think, Kavita, you would also agree to this statement.
Yeah, exactly. It's just take like 2 months or 3 months to revise the whole syllabus. Like even if you're working in IDT, if you want to switch to DT, then just do some hard work, like do some reading in 2-3 months, and then you can switch to DT or some any other related profile. So that's the best part about being a chartered accountant. You have so much opportunities in different profiles also. If you're not happy in this one, you can definitely change by just doing some hard work. Okay, so that's all. I guess I have covered pretty much most of the questions. Thank you so much, Sachin, for attending this session.
Thank you so much, Kavita, for inviting me. And actually, it was a very good to give your knowledge to a newly qualified chartered accountant, and it's because of you. I really thank you.
Okay, guys, so let's end this video here. Do let me know in the comments like what other profile you want me to interview next. Okay, so let's end this video here. If you like the video, then please like the video. Please subscribe for more such useful content, and thanks for watching.